Dispatch is a narrative-driven, episodic game brought to you by the people at both Critical Role and the much-loved Telltale Games. You play as Robert, otherwise known as Mecha Man, a superhero with no inherent superpowers outside of his mecha suit, on a mission to avenge his dad by hunting down the man who killed him. However, everything goes wrong. His suit gets destroyed, he runs out of funds to repair it, and is forced to step down. But then he's offered a job as a dispatch officer for a team of dysfunctional supervillains, basically the naughty kids in school. And your job is to help them on their redemption arc, not only turning them into respectable superheroes, but making sure they don't kill each other in the process. It's filled with an incredible voice cast, great sense of humour, memorable characters, and a knack for hitting those important story beats, and some mini-games. We'll get on to my thoughts on those in a sec.
Oh, fuck off.
But first, a huge thank you to all of my channel members, Patreons and Twitch subs who help keep this channel going. If you'd like to help support the channel, you'll find links in the description box below. But now, let's get into the video. The game opens with a cutscene, and we are introduced straight away to our main character and my personal favourite, Robert. He's monotoned, sarcastic, and, depending on which options you pick, you can play him as a cold hard ass or as a more understanding and forgiving character. He's voiced by Jesse from Breaking Bad, which blew my mind because Aaron Paul gives such a good performance, I didn't even recognise him straight away. He expertly conveys how done with the world Robert is, but delivers each sarcastic jab and moving monologue in a way that's personable and believable.
Look, I love my dad, all right? I love my dad. That's the truth.
Loved.
That's what I said.
You said love. Your dad's dead, so you don't love him. You loved him.
Just so sensitive. Listen, if I didn't love him, we wouldn't be here, right?
We don't have to get into it.
Nope, we're in it now. Why would I be trying to find the man who killed him if I didn't love him? Why would I be doing any of this? Shit. My nose is bleeding. Thought I was getting emotionally snotty.
Really bringing his character to life, and we're only 5 minutes into the game. If you decided to turn on the interactive mode in the settings before the game starts, you'll use either your mouse or controller to interact with on-screen prompts to suit up Robert. Otherwise, you'll be watching this like a cutscene. And even though missing these prompts don't overly affect the outcome of doing up a zipper, I do like that this option is included. Now that we're suited and booted, we head out to the learned location and sneak our way in with more on-screen prompts and a hacking minigame. A movement puzzle with some input codes, nothing too challenging right now, but we'll come back to these later. We break our way in and find the same guy we were interrogating at the start, and it leads to one of the best cutscenes in the game. I had the visual censorship on during my Twitch stream and I couldn't stop laughing. The way the black box perfectly snaps to that area of the body absolutely sent me, and I'm not even sure why. Look at the black square! I know Laura Bailey probably didn't write this scene herself, but it's so Laura Bailey and Jester coded you can really see the Critical Role influence in not only the humour, but the animation style, and I feel like I'm watching an episode of Vox Machina. We get captured, escape, but our suit has been sabotaged with a bomb that explodes, and that is the intro to Dispatch. And honestly, what a strong start. At this point, I'm hooked and I'm ready to play more. I think one thing that's really strong about Dispatch is the core characters. They each have their own distinct personality and design, voiced by a cast I know and recognise that brings a personal connection to them right from their first delivered line of dialogue. Having to help them better themselves, learning their strengths and weaknesses, and seeing how they all interact with each other makes me care about them and their stories. Something that I think both Critical Role and Telltale excel at, and something that I think really carried the game and gets the player invested. My two personal favourite characters are Robert and Flambe.
I'm a bitch. My name's Robert, such a bitch whose name is Robert. I'm a bitch, yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm such a fucking bitch. I have no hopes, I have no dreams. And a tiny little bean, and it doesn't even function anyway. Because I never satisfaction.
Visigal.
He brought a lamb!
Yeah, so I might have to do that once a month or so as a release of my hatred for you.
Robert is the central point, the glue that holds everyone together. A strong leader that gives as good as he gets, while at the same time being run down and fighting against his own odds. The game gives you dialogue options to choose from, so you can choose how you want Robert to react in certain situations. And then the dreaded "they'll remember that" text appears at the top of the screen, and suddenly you're left wondering, what have I just done? How will this affect me later? And I love that. Your job as the team's dispatcher is to learn what everyone is good at and send them out on missions to help people as calls come in, forcing you to use all of your time and resource managing skills whilst fighting time constraints. You do that through this mini grid. It displays all of the stats of the characters you choose for that mission. Some are better at combat-based tasks, others are more intellectual or charismatic, and you have to match their stats with the mission for the best possible outcome. The larger the area you cover on the grid, the more chance of success, right? Well, no. Because there's also an element of RNG in the form of this little bouncy ball feature. So even if you have 87% of the area covered, if the ball bounces out of that area by even just a pixel, you fail. And even if you have only 15% of it covered, if you bounce that ball within the bounds of that 15%, you succeed, taking away the need to really think about the matchup of the characters and stats best suited for each mission. I personally found this a tad frustrating. However, after talking to my Twitch chat, I feel like a lot of people actually like this system, so I'm happy to be in the minority if other people are having fun. But the other thing I found frustrating about the minigames was the timers on the hacking segments. The hacking minigames can be fiddly and annoying, and if your timer runs out or if you get caught by these floating eyeballs one too many times, you instantly fail and get locked out of the minigame, which will affect the mission that you're currently on. And this drove me mad. However, there is an option in the settings for you to turn these timers off, and honestly, I wish I had done this sooner. As soon as I turned that feature off, I was having fun with the minigames again, so I recommend turning that setting off if you're annoyed by timers like I am. There's also romance options in the game. Your choices are between Blonde Blazer and Invisigal, and I like that there are separate path options. It makes for a lot of replayability in the game if you want to see the other options you didn't pick on your first playthrough. I chose to romance Invisigal and to recruit Waterboy this playthrough, and I'm already looking forward to a second run where I romance Blonde Blazer and recruit Phenomenon instead, to see how the game plays differently with them. There's also a point where you have to cut a character from your team, and I couldn't decide which one to lose because I love them both. So I decided to do an experiment and let the timer run out to see who the game defaulted to, and I regret my decision. So never let this timer run out if you're planning on keeping Sonar. The game will remove him for you. Honestly though, I like Coop, and it just means I'll be choosing to keep Sonar in my next playthrough, so I'm not overly annoyed by this turn of events. The humour and tonal shifts were so well done, I was genuinely ugly laughing more than once throughout this game. But when the game had to reel it in and be serious enough to deliver those gut-wrenching story beats, it was executed flawlessly. Dispatch is an incredible form of immersive storytelling, selling over 1 million copies in its first 10 days, hitting over 130k concurrent players on Steam, and one of the highest rated games of the year on PSN Store. I highly recommend the game if you enjoy in-depth storytelling, memorable characters, silly humour and impactful drama. I think it's a breath of fresh air in the gaming scene right now, costing only $30 for 8 episodes, and at the time that you're viewing this video, all 8 episodes should be released and available for you. So if you don't like episodic gameplay, don't worry, you don't have to deal with it anymore. All of the episodes are available to play. So you can binge episodes 1 through 8 in one can go if you wanted, like you would with any other game, but I did personally enjoy the episodic release of this game. It was like waiting for your favourite show to come round every week. The little bite-sized pieces of the game made it very digestible to play, and it was something to look forward to. So I personally like that they brought it out in episodes every week. Because it's an interactive storytelling game, it's accessible for players of any skill level, and I cannot recommend this game enough. But let me know what you think about the game in the comments down below. As always, a massive thank you to my channel members, Patreons, and Twitch subs. Your support helps keep this channel going. Links to everything is in the description box down below. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You gonna eat those Twinks?
That's not what they're... You know what? Help yourself.